with you about the strength of economy. How strong is Indian economy? You see, many of you are thinking that Indian economy is not strong, Indian economy is not in good shape, and Indian economy is not strong enough, right? So for those people who are having doubts about India and Indian economy, I would like to say that Indian economy is not weak economy. Indian economy is not in a bad shape, and Indian economy is now in a very better shape, in a better shape, right? So you can boost of Indian economy. You can feel proud about Indian economy. And you see, since 1947, all the governments, they have made their contribution according to their capacity and according to their time and according to their compulsions. They have contributed for the development and growth of this economy. But in last 7 decades, under the strong leadership of Narendra Modi, we have found that Indian economy has grown a lot, has made tremendous improvement. I would like to share with you about the state of Indian economy in the month of April 2024, right? See, the economic health of a country is indicated by its gross domestic product, right? So which refers, what is gross domestic product? The gross domestic product is total market value of all the goods and services a nation produces in a given year, right? So from 2014 to 2018, India was the world's fastest growing economy. In a recent report by the Economic Times of 31st December 2023, it was highlighted that India decisively withstood global headwinds in 2023 and is likely to remain as the world's fastest growing major economy on the back of growing demand, moderate inflation, stable interest rate regime, and robust foreign exchange reserves, right? So even the executive board of the International Monetary Fund assessed that, quote, the Indian authorities for their prudent macroeconomic policies and reforms that resulted in the economy's strong economic performance, resilience, and financial stability, while also facing continued global headwinds. Noting that India is one of the fastest growing economies globally, directors called for continued appropriate policies to sustain economic stability and for further progress in key structural reforms to unleash India's significant potential, unquote. So, in the last 9 years, India's GDP grew substantially. How much it grew? Let me quote once again. Quote, India's GDP has reached 3.75 trillion in 2023 from around $2 trillion in 2014, moving from 10th largest to 5th largest economy in the world. India is now being called a bright spot in the global economy. It was, unquote, it was reported by Jain in Forbes India on 12th June 2023. Right, in 2024 up to 7th February, India retained her position as the world's 5th largest economy, or the 5th largest or 5th richest economy in the world with $4.1 trillion. India's economy at present is $4.1 trillion. Can you just imagine what India did in 70 years almost, up to 2014? India achieved $2 trillion economy, but now in just last 10 years, India has been able to grow its economy by $2.1 trillion economy. So India's economy is now, the strength of Indian economy is $4.1 trillion, right? So now let me discuss about the 10 largest economies in the world. First, the first rank is held by the United States of America. So you have to think that when the USA was born, after the American Revolution or American War of Independence in 1776. Imagine, in 1776 the USA was created, while while China was yes, definitely was created at almost at the same time with India. But you see, let me tell you or enumerate you one by one. China, not China, the United States of America is the richest country in the world. It was created in 1776, and its GDP now is $27,974 billion, and its GDP per capita is $83.06,000. And but its external debt is $32.9 trillion. Its GDP is 27 trillion dollar, but its external debt is 32 trillion dollar. Right? You see, China's economy is 19 trillion dollar, and but its external debt is 2.45 trillion dollar, with GDP per capita income is $13.16 thousand. Japan occupies the third position, and its at present its GDP is $442 trillion dollar, and no, $4 trillion dollar. Sorry, Japan's economy is $4 trillion dollar, while its external debt is $4.34 trillion dollar, right? And its GDP per capita per capita income is how much is $34.55, right? $34.55 thousand. But Germany holds the fourth position, and it was formed in 1871, and it occupies now the third position in the world, right? So its economy in 2024 is $4.7 trillion, and its external debt is $2.81 trillion, whereas its GDP per capita is $56.04 thousand. But India holds the fifth position, right? And India's economy is now $4.1 trillion, and its external debt is merely $1.85 trillion. Where is maybe the United States of America is the richest country, but its external debt is $32.9 trillion. Imagine, you just think. Okay, so right. So United Kingdom, our former colonial ruler, they have how much? They have an economy of $3.5 trillion, and its external debt is $3.13 trillion up to October 2023, and its GDP per capita is $52.43 thousand. France occupies the seventh position with $3.1 trillion. Italy occupies the 8th position with $2.2 trillion. Canada 10th position with $2.2 trillion, and Brazil holds the 9th position with $2.2 trillion, $272 billion, $2,272 billion is Brazil's total GDP, right? And Brazil has $1.43 trillion external debt. Okay, so now you got the point that India holds the fifth largest economy with a very strong economy in the world. At present in the world there are 193 countries in the United Nations, but out of all those countries in the world, India occupies the fifth position. So India is the fifth largest economy, though its per capita income is comparatively low. Because why? Because India's population is too much. India has 1.43 billion population, so 143 crore people India has at present. That is why India's GDP per capita income is lesser. While how much is the population of USA? USA has only how much? 33 crore people. Right. So India population is a matter. Population makes a matter. Right. That is why. So India needs to increase its GDP per capita income. Yeah, definitely. And it is hoped that, you see, if you look very closely, you will find that India's India's GDP now is $4,112 billion, right? $4,112 billion, while the fourth position is occupied by Japan, and its economy is 4,291 billion. So Japan's economy is $4,291 billion, while India's economy is $4,112 billion, right? So India has a great chance to beat Japan within 2-3 years, right? And I am very much sure India will do that. However, it is evident that India's GDP is growing very rapidly, right? So why India is growing or making too much development, or India's growth is this much amount? How India did this? I like to share with you. It's the ease of doing business. Indian government under Modi has taken decision that there should not be so many hurdles. And earlier India has 17 kinds of indirect taxes, but all those things have been combined into one, that is GST, goods and services tax, and it has been introduced from 17th. It has been implemented from 2017. So this is a great achievement and major achievement of the Modi government, right? So the ease of doing business system has been introduced in India. So the economy of a country is related to the participation of its people in economic activities and the production of goods, assets and services, right? So foreign direct investment also held a significant role in increasing on country's GDP. So India in recent years has taken steps to enthuse young people to be entrepreneurs and businessmen. So India is now encouraging, instead of becoming a job seeker, try to be job givers instead of job seekers. The government of India is now encouraging people, or young people, to make job givers, right? So also India facilitated the industrialists, both foreign and Indian, through the formulation of various trade policies and programs, right? India's dreams of being a manufacturing hub of the world by replacing China. India wants to become the world's manufacturing hub, replacing China, because China has maximum number of manufacturing industries, but India needs to grow more and more in every district. In every year, at least we'll have to make not less than 100 factories in every district, or maybe small scale industries, right? So for this purpose, ease of doing business is very important. In 2021, India held the 63rd position in the ease of doing business index, and the country ranks the 68th position on the global competitive report, according to the Economic Times, 18th September 2021. Further, India's rank in ease of doing business, according to World Bank report, has been increased from 142 in 2014. Imagine, in 2014, how much its rank was? Its rank was 142. From that, in 2022, India's rank came down to 63. 142 to 63 position India occupied. So you just think it's a great achievement of the government of India, right? It was published in a report of the Economic Times dated July 6, 2022. So this report is prepared based on a survey of 190 countries, right? So apart from the size of the economy in terms of GDP, India's economic strength can be gauged by the gold reserves of the Reserve Bank of India. You have to think that India is a very rich country. In every family almost, there are gold, silver and other jewelry, right? Almost in every family India has. So this should be given importance, this should be counted also. So Indian big temples are repositories of gold, silver, diamonds and other jewelry. So not only those, but there are Indian households, particularly women, who purchase the highest amount of jewelry every year in the world, right? So there are rarely households in India that do not possess a certain quantity of gold and silver. Let me check how much it is, right? So gold reserve in India, both institutional and personal. The Reserve Bank of India emerged as the second largest buyer of gold among the world's central banks in 2021. In the year 2021, India became the second largest buyer of gold. Just imagine. So the larger buyer, the Central Bank of Thailand bought the maximum amount, the largest amount, the highest amount of, or highest quantity of gold. Okay, Thailand bought 90 metric tons of gold, while RBI, or Reserve Bank of India, bought 77.5 metric tons, taking its total gold reserve to 754.1 metric tons. Just imagine, India's gold reserve in Reserve Bank is 741.1 metric tons. Okay, it was the report of the end of December 2021, right? The worth of India's gold reserves is amounting to $41 billion, $41 billion, which amounts to 6.22% of India's foreign reserves. Okay, so many Indian temples are now very old and affluent. A few years ago, the World Gold Council estimated gold holdings with temples in India would be 3,000 to 4,000 tons. Indian temples have 3,000 to 4,000 tons of gold reserve. Just imagine. See, much of this is what is termed idol gold, resting just in the lockers or vaults. One Padmanabha Swami temple in Kerala, a 16th century temple, has around 1,300 tons of gold jewelry. How much? 1,300 tons of gold jewelry only Padmanabha Swami temple in Kerala has. All right, with what is its worth? Its worth is $22 billion. $22 billion at the price of 2021. All right. Take another example of Sri Venkateswara temple, Tirumala, Andhra Pradesh, popularly known as Tirupati temple, which gets around 100 kg of gold every month. How much? 100 kg of gold every month Tirupati temple receives from its devotees, or 1.2 tons a year as offerings. So it comes to light from a newspaper report that, quote, a record 130 kg of gold was offered in July, biggest ever in a single month this year, by devotees of Lord Venkateswara at the hill shrine of Tirumala. Right. The Tirumala shrine gets around 100 kg of gold and 2,600 to 3,000 kg of silver ornaments and articles every month in the form of offerings and donations from pilgrims across the country, unquote. It was reported by the Times of India on 1st September 2019. Right. Indian people, particularly women, are fond of gold and diamond jewelry. From a report of the Financial Express 2019, it is estimated that households in India may have piled up around 24,000 to 25,000 tons of gold, remaining the world's largest holders of precious metal. Right. The value of holdings in 2019 international price was as much as $1,135 billion, or the equivalent of more than 40% of India's nominal gross domestic product in 2019, right? So the Europeans, particularly the British merchants and traders, had looted tons of gold and jewelry from India. Despite that, India has so much gold diamond and other precious stones that any country in the world can be envious of its precious stones and jewelry. So India is such a rich country. Now definitely you must be shocking, or not shocking, you must be amazed, and you must be very happy to learn that India's gold reserve is so much, right? India might have a huge gold reserve, but this phenomenon is confined to a small number of people only. Yeah, definitely a small number. Not all are having this kind of this much this much gold jewelry. This type of richness is not required at all. Yes, we think that, particularly I think that the share of gold should be equally distributed, or almost when all the people of India will have a certain amount of, or certain quantity of gold, certain quantity of income, certain amount of income, and certain standard of life, then only India be called a true developed nation. And it is expected that by 2047 India will be able to reach that position, right? So trade, India's trade and commerce is also good. India's merchandise, India's services, and overall trade merchandise, India's exports have been increased, and India's dependence on others have been decreased, and India's exports have been increased, and India's imports have been decreased, and it's a good sign for India. Okay. So India's foreign direct investment is also very good and in a very rosy position. You see, FDI or foreign direct investment is an important component of India's gross domestic product, and often we hear about FDI. But what is FDI? Students, a few students should learn what is FDI actually. To answer this question, I can say that FDI or foreign direct investment is the investment of an entity, either individual or firm, based outside the country where the investment is being done. Recently, India's foreign direct investment has increased due to some positive reasons, including stable government's welcoming attitude, a business-friendly environment, ease of doing business, policy of reducing corporate tax rates, addressing liquidity issues in non-banking financial companies and banks, India's relations with foreign investors, India's contemporary role in global policies and global politics, and above all, internal peace and tranquility. As a result of all these things, foreign direct investment flows into India that rose by 10% to $49 billion in 2022, making it the third largest host country for announced greenfield projects and the second largest for international projects finance deals, according to a report released by United National Conference on Trade and Development. Okay, FDI in India has actually started to rise since the 1990s after the liberalization of economy by Dr. Manmohan Singh, the then finance minister, but the rate of inflow was very low. Quote, FDI into China has taken off, while FDI into India has trickled in. In 2004, India received FDI inflows of around 0.5% of GDP, whereas China received FDI worth 3.2% of GDP. In dollar terms, China received 16 times the FDI than India in 2004. But now this situation has changed, and India's GDP or India's foreign direct investment has grown to more than $80 billion, right? So India is now a skilled country. India's people, a lot of youths, a lot of people are now very skilled. Now India is now a skilled country. That's why we can say. So skill is attained through training and educational attainment. Training comes through participation in academic and training institutions. Training and skill development is the sine qua non of the 21st century. So education is the backbone of any country. While general education and skill training with the help of information and communication technology Only young people can make themselves prosperous, developed, and economically well established. And the students and youths of India are doing that. With the development and growth of every individual, national growth and development will be ensured. That is why I call upon all the youths of India to participate in skill development program. Right, it comes to light, and it is known to all. Many of you might know that India's total literacy rate in 2023 is 77.7%, including male literacy rate is 84.7%, and female literacy rate a little lesser, it is 70%, 70.3%. Okay. Further, the WeVox India Skills Report 2023 indicates that, in contrast with last year's employability figures, 46.22%, 50.3% of young people were found to be highly employable overall. India's 50.3% young people are highly employable in the global market. You just think the skill Indian youths have attained. So the percentage of employable women workforce has increased to 52.8% compared to 47.2% for men. So India's women are not lagging behind. Indian women, Indian girls are also equally learning skills, or are equally getting skilled or being skilled along with their male counterparts. Right. India's small scale manufacturing industries, let us see. India is now gradually approaching towards becoming the world's manufacturing hub. At present, there are how much? 1,521,190 micro, small and medium scale industries. According to the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India, this report is up to 31st July 2023. About 55% of these units are located in rural areas, and over 44 lakhs, that is 42.26%, are in total small scale industries or SSIs, while the remaining 61 lakh are small scale services and business industry related enterprises. Right. Further, according to Harun's Global Unicorn Index 2023, India has some of the highest numbers of unicorns and gazelles. India bagged the third spot with 68 new unicorns, which is third only to the USA's 666 unicorns and China's 316. India also had the third largest number of gazelles. India has also the third largest number of gazelles in the world. Fintech industries in India. The government of India has demonstrated to the world a unique model of public-private partnership by building a strong public manufacturing in the India stack that facilitated and enabled private sector innovation. You see, despite the slowdown in the economy due to COVID-19 pandemic in 2021, the fintech industry in India continued to showcase growth by capitalizing on the digitization opportunities posed by pandemics and leveraging public digital infrastructure, among the things. Quote, India is one of the largest and fastest growing fintech markets in the world, with more than 2,100 fintechs, and is the third largest fintech ecosystem in line after USA and China. India has a fintech adoption rate of 87%, which is the highest in the world, with a global average of around 64%. As of December 2021, India has over 17 fintech companies which have gained unicorn status with a value of over $1 billion US. India's market was 50 to 60 billion US dollar in 2020, and it is expected to grow $150 billion economy in the $150 billion market by 2025. As per a recent study conducted by Boston Consultancy Group, unquote, Srinivas wrote in Jojana, April 2023, it was written in page number 212. Additionally, India is the USA, UK and China combined when it comes to the real-time online transactions, with 25.5 billion in real-time payments recorded in 2020. Can you imagine? India is now digital, I told, and India is now growing as a global hub for technology and innovation in the digital economy. By any number of key metrics, from 834 million total internet users to 4,617 million total UPI transactions. You just imagine, 4,617 million total UPI transactions were held. India's fintech revolution is a population scale, at a population scale exceeding most of the global countries. According to Devjani Ghosh, quote, India's massive digital infrastructure played a key role in driving India's tech adoption, with public digital platforms and open source architecture becoming the core foundation of digital India, right? So today India has more than 80% bank account holders, and India created the requisite infrastructure to reach more than 101 billion populations living in sprawling, varied and sometimes inaccessible territories by assigning a unique number Aadhaar. The new bank accounts were linked with Aadhaar and mobile phones. The National Payments Corporation of India has developed a soft infrastructure, the Aadhaar Payment Bridge (ABP), which has become the catalyst for India's cash transfer programs. The central government used ABP-enabled direct benefit transfers for 314 programs or schemes, and different state governments used these digital rails to deliver benefits to 450 programs. India's digital consumer base is the second largest in the world, and the benefits of technology are being felt by all segments of the people. So in March 2019, McKinsey Global Institute recognized India's rapid digitization. The launch of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana in 2014 encouraged digital payments. Indians have already opened some 44.58 crores of Jan Dhan bank accounts up to 2022, but this rate has been improved. In this way, the government of India, or in this way,